Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and we need to talk about the changes to the guild store, not just the guild activity, but also how this impacts the guild event store. So we're going to dive right in. I do apologize that I've been a little on and off with the content lately, just with everything in life going on right now. It's been harder to find the time, but let's talk about this today. So the guild activity store has completely changed because they have added in Hermit Yoda, our King Wampa, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, IPD, and then General Skywalker and Darth Malak for these Mark II raid tokens. This is probably the greatest change that has come out of this new raid system now. With these characters in Mark II raid currency, it completely opens up the door for you to not only get them faster, but also plan accordingly and get some of those harder to get Galactic Legends earlier. So, let's dive in and talk about this change and what I would be doing with my currency at this point. So, we'll start with the Mark II currency, right? The other currencies I've covered before and they remain unchanged, but this Mark II currency is the first big change. I'd suggest farming your Hermit Yoda, Wampa, and Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Again, our king is in Galactic Bounties, but the sooner you can get your hands on your king, the sooner that you're going to be able to not only do better in GAC, but plan for that Jedi Knight Luke. So I would 100% be using this Mark II currency for these three characters. And you could supplement that with guild event currency as well, but I think I have a plan for that. So you want to focus on these guys. Imperial Probe Droid at the time, we don't need to worry about him. Just forget it. Pretend he doesn't exist. It doesn't matter, right? IPD is... But then you have this General Skywalker, Darth Malak. Now here's the thing. You can only hoard this currency up to 20,000, right? It's not really that much. 20,000 is not that much, to be able to hoard. So, my recommendation with General Skywalker and Darth Malak is that you need to be spending your Get One currency on them because you can hoard it. You can hoard this currency. You can hang on to as much of this as you want. Notice that they've been adding these caps to all this other currency. And the reason you only add caps is to keep players from being able to hoard it for the chance that something does change, which I 100% believe these stores will be changing because they have caps on them. So, characters like General Skywalker, Darth Malak, you want to be farming with Get One, and you want to save your Get One for them. Now, if you're looking at that Rebel Officer Leia Organa, what I would recommend is that you're going to want to farm her using the Mark II raid tokens, because I think you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck there, because otherwise you need to use Get Two for her. So, Rebel Officer Leia Organa should be priority number one, right? Get her with this currency, and then worry about your Hermit Yoda and your Wampa because, with this particular currency, because she's a Get Two character, right? You have to spend Get Two to get her, whereas Malak, as a Hermit Yoda and Wampa, are Get One. So again, this change is amazing for early players. It is going to completely revolutionize the way that you're going to be able to farm, how quickly you're going to be able to earn characters, and even just the efficiency with which you can use your Get One and Get Two, because you can hoard those things. So now, right, this currency over here, your guild activity tokens, all these other things, you're worrying about this, these characters here, right? So your big three, Hermit Yoda, Wampa, and then Rolo, right? Obviously, you got to worry about our king. And then with General Skywalker and Malak, I would say you save your Get One for them, because you're going to need to buy gear eventually. So if you save that Get One where you can hoard that and basically put it in the bank and pretend that those are General Skywalker and Malak shards, because remember, you can't buy them until you complete the event. So you save your Get One, and then when you unlock one of them, right, you start buying them with that. And that way, with this currency, you can focus on the gear once you get done with these three characters. I think that's your plan of attack. I mean, Rebel Officer Leia Organa is replacing your Get Two, which means you can farm the Malevolence and Negotiator faster, which is even better, right? So this change is so crazy. I mean, I am blown away that they added them for that currency, because, a lot of people were complaining, we were getting Get Two in the pit raid, right? We're getting Get One and Get Two via the challenge pit, and then Sith Triumvirate. Now that those are gone, they've given you that outlet to get these characters, and I think that that's phenomenal. I mean, this is arguably the greatest update now, because, you think about just what you're going to be able to start farming and how early you're going to be able to start farming it. You could get your Wampa significantly earlier than before and work on that Jedi Knight Luke that much faster because you don't have to wait as long for him. I mean, you get so much of this stuff, right? You get so much of these different things. If you do you get what, like 4,200 of this per raid, and you can do what? Is it like 66 raids a year? So it's something absurd. Forget how many raids it is a year. Is it every 3 days? Like 100. So you could overdo, like, call it, I don't know how many raids it is, but it's a lot. You do these, every single week, right? If you do a purchase after every single raid, I think you can do 2 raids a week. I could be wrong. It might be more than that, but whatever the case is, right? Someone do the math for me. I think it's 90K to launch, which would be technically every 3 days. So, over 100 raids a year. So if every single raid, right, you buy, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, it's not going to take you that long at all to get her. And then you're offsetting that with the galactic bounties for Wampa. You're, can spend currency on Yoda. You could even use your get one where you need to. I think you're going to get them way faster, and that's the way I would split it up. So I did just want to cover this. There's not a lot else to cover. Nothing else changes. Like, I think with your with your Mark II here, you still want to then buy your Gear 13 gear. With your, Mark III, if you're earning that, Zimbato cards and impulse detectors. And I would argue that impulse detectors and arrow magnifiers might be the play for those of you who are a little bit, lower level, right? That arrow magnifier is definitely like the best bang because it's so expensive to get with crystals comparative to impulse detectors. If you're someone like myself where your arrow magnifiers aren't a problem, then yeah, you can spend it on these things. So arrow magnifier is probably priority number 1. Get enough of them for whatever farm you're going to do first, and then move on down the road. I wouldn't buy any of the other relic materials. I think these are all way overpriced and they're much easier to get elsewhere. And then again with your Mark 1, the Mark 1 currency with them adding in, Han and stuff down here, right? I mean, look at this. You can buy even these characters. I didn't even scroll this far down before. Wow, you got to see this for the first time. I mean, look, every single character, they're not even on rotation, are added down here. So how quickly you're going to be able to do this stuff is absurd. It's phenomenal. I mean, you could even do, early on, I'm looking at this like from a Commander Luke Skywalker perspective, right? You can farm Boy Luke, Old Ben, out of the cantina. You don't have to worry about your cantina stuff early on, and you could go and get something else. So, I mean, this is amazing. I definitely think these are fantastic purchases in here. This is going to open up so many doors for players to get characters faster that they need and build a better, more robust roster. So that's the video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. As always, smash that subscribe button, leave likes, leave comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.